Can someone become so infamous that even their paid protectors call it quits? Jack Doherty, once famous for outrageous pranks and livestream chaos, now needs constant security just to step outside. But his security team, the people paid to keep him safe, are on the verge of walking out. And it's not just about money. After a disturbing incident involving an elderly man, everything began to spiral. Caught on camera, this moment exposed a deeper problem, one that could mark the end of Jack's wild empire. What finally pushed his last line of defense to the edge? This all started with a moment that's hard to watch. An elderly man, just doing his job, was suddenly thrown into the center of yet another one of Jack's public stunts. Jack walked up with a mic, asking one of his signature wild questions. The man didn't react aggressively, didn't raise his voice, but Jack's security guard, he flipped, got in the man's face, threatened him, physically intimidated him while cameras rolled. It was the kind of moment where even viewers used to Jack's drama paused and thought, wait, did that just go way too far? The mic was snatched, voices escalated, and as usual, Jack tried to defuse the moment by telling his crew to just leave, but the damage was done. This wasn't just content anymore. This was a security team crossing legal and ethical lines, and doing it in public. And here's the part that really raises eyebrows. This isn't some isolated moment. These kinds of explosive encounters have been happening again and again. Time after time, Jack's security team has been forced to step into his messes. And instead of calming things down like trained professionals are taught to do, they often seem to escalate them. Threats, aggression, even physical confrontation. The big question is, why? Why would professional security guards risk everything for this? The truth lies in a financial setup that's just now starting to unravel. Jack hasn't just been hiring protection. He's been overpaying them, way above the industry standard. And with that kind of cash on the table, loyalty becomes transactional. These weren't just bodyguards, they were part of the act, willing to push the line for a check. But now, that check is bouncing, at least metaphorically. After getting banned from Kick, the streaming platform that was Jack's financial lifeline, everything started collapsing. That ban wasn't random. It came after he physically assaulted someone on stream. It wasn't subtle. And Kick, already under fire for the kind of content it hosts, wasn't going to let it slide. Without that Kick income, Jack's revenue took a nosedive. His lifestyle doesn't come cheap either. Mansions, McLarens, security, parties, designer gear. Just the car payments and travel costs are enough to sink an average influencer. Security alone, especially round the clock, costs thousands upon thousands a month. And when revenue dries up, the expenses don't. Suddenly, everyone around Jack is forced to look at the bigger picture. Sponsors have started distancing themselves. Merchandise isn't moving like it used to. Viewers are catching on to the chaos. Even the most outrageous clips are starting to feel desperate. That's usually the moment when things start to spiral. And for Jack, that moment came fast. A lot of people still wonder, what exactly does Jack need security from? Why can't he just hire someone else or cut back? The reality is darker than it seems. Jack can't go outside safely anymore. There are actual people, not just haters online, who feel personally attacked by the things he's done. From harassing strangers on stream to pulling reckless public stunts, the list of people he's antagonized is long and very real. It's not just trolls, it's business owners, former collaborators, random bystanders, and sometimes even his own fans. There are clips that show what happens when Jack doesn't have enough protection. Random people confront him in restaurants. Strangers threaten him. Things escalate fast. And it's clear, this isn't a guy who can just lay low. His whole brand has been built around confrontation and conflict. When the cameras are rolling, that works. But when the money runs dry and the security walks away, suddenly the danger feels a lot more real. Think about it from the security team's perspective. This isn't just another client. Jack's presence on their resume doesn't exactly scream professionalism. In fact, it does the opposite. Bodyguards work hard to build trust and reputations. They protect CEOs, celebrities, and public figures, but always within legal and ethical boundaries. When they cross that line, it's career suicide. No future employer is going to hire a guard who's gone viral for threatening old men or roughing up streamers on camera. And it gets worse. Jack's security isn't just reacting to threats. They're becoming part of the content. There are clips of Jack holding hands with his guards, making them part of the joke, blurring the lines between professionalism and personal chaos. They're dragged into skits, pranks, and shady schemes. It's not the job they signed up for. And with their reputations on the line, more and more of them are deciding, enough is enough. The guards themselves have to maintain their own high standards just to stay employable. Physical training, diet, fitness, certifications. It's all expensive and constant. They can't afford months of unemployment, but they also can't keep sticking their necks out for someone who's quickly becoming one of the most toxic figures on the internet. Without the bonus pay Jack used to offer, the risk just isn't worth it anymore. So now comes the dilemma: stay and ride the ship down, or leave and hope someone else will overlook the fact that their last job involved threatening civilians and starring in viral meltdown clips. It's a trap, really. The relationship between Jack and his team has become more parasitic than professional. He demands more and more outrageous behavior, all while offering less in return. The stunts are getting riskier, the pay is getting smaller, and the consequences are getting heavier. And when things go wrong, as they inevitably do, guess who gets caught in the crossfire? Not just Jack, the entire team, the security guards, the editors, the camera crew. Everyone becomes part of the fallout. It's not just about money anymore. It's about risk, legal risk, professional risk, even personal safety. And Jack, whether intentionally or not, has pushed the people around him to their limit. Take one of the most disturbing examples: Jack trying to seduce his own brother's boyfriend for views. This isn't just cringe content, it's deeply uncomfortable. It crosses moral lines for nothing more than a click. And the worst part? His security team is in the background for all of it, watching, sometimes participating, always implicated. When the guards signed up, they weren't looking to be part of a circus. They were there to protect someone, not to become background characters in a collapsing social media empire. Now they're stuck. Keep going and lose credibility. Walk away and risk unemployment. Either way, it's a lose-lose. There's a clip from a recent confrontation that really shows how far things have gone. Jack is out in public, tensions are high, and random strangers start approaching. What should have been a calm situation quickly turns hostile. People start threatening him. One even says they'll put him to sleep. The energy shifts, and suddenly it's clear. This isn't about online drama anymore. This is real life, and it's getting dangerous. The moment Jack lost kick, the countdown began. The empire built on chaos needed fresh fuel, so the content got more extreme, the pranks got riskier, and the people around him were expected to keep up. But there's only so long anyone can keep playing along before it all falls apart. Even fans are noticing the shift. What once felt like harmless fun now feels tense, toxic, uncomfortable. And once the audience starts pulling back, so do the sponsors, so does the money. And eventually, so does the protection. Some viewers have started comparing Jack's situation to the downfall of the Island Boys, another case of internet fame burned out by reckless spending and even more reckless choices. One of them is now homeless, according to his own brother, evicted, financially ruined, and the parallels are impossible to ignore. The flash, the fame, the spending, then the collapse. Jack is just a few steps behind, only this time with more enemies and fewer friends. What happens when the last line of defense, his security, walks away for good? What happens when the enemies he's made realize there's no one left to step in? That's the real danger. Jack has built a life that requires constant protection, but the people protecting him are done. And once they leave, there's no telling how fast everything else could unravel. The guards were never just there to keep fans at bay. They were the wall between Jack and the consequences of years of reckless behavior. Without them, that wall comes crashing down. It's a tough situation to watch unfold, because whether someone loves Jack or hates him, there's no denying the train wreck that's coming if nothing changes. Will he adapt? Will he scale back and rebuild in a smarter way? Or is this just the next chapter in a cautionary tale that ends like so many others? No one can say for sure. But what's clear right now is this: Jack Doherty's security isn't just abandoning a client, they're escaping a sinking ship. And what comes next could be the most dangerous part of his story yet. If this breakdown had you glued to the screen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. This story is still unfolding, and it's only going to get wilder from here.